For too many years, Russ has raised a family, built a business, voted in every election, and served in the military, but pretty much ignored what was happening within government. Now he has realized that what Ronald Reagan lectured was passionate about: freedom is not free. It must be fought for and protected, or we will lose it for ourselves and our progeny. His speech is titled Peace Through Strength. Is that enough? Welcome, Russ.
Imagine, if you will, being in prison. It's peaceful. There's a lot of strength in the bars and the windows, the doors. So we've created an environment of peace through strength. Imagine also that you're a woman in an Islamic country. Sharia law. The rule of law, as long as you as a woman conform to that law, you've got peace. You challenge that law, you've got problems. Again, strength, peace through strength. But is that really enough? Is there something missing? The definition of peace: the normal, non-warring condition, a state of mutual harmony, the normal freedom from civil commotion and violence. In the early to mid-1980s, Libya was on a tear. Muammar Gaddafi was creating terrorism throughout Europe. April the 5th, 1986, 3 terrorists bombed a nightclub in West Berlin, killing 3 individuals, wounding hundreds of people. 9 days later, 14 United States F-111s attacked Libya, bombing the heck out of places in Libya, including, interestingly enough, Benghazi. And also, interestingly enough, the presidential compound of Muammar Gaddafi. The result of all of this, 23 years of peace with Libya. Peace through strength. Seems to work pretty good. Excellent example. About a year later, President Reagan looked Gorbachev in the eye and he said, "Tear down that wall, Mr. Gorbachev." The result? The wall came down. Millions of Germans were liberated to meet with their relatives in the other half of Germany. Additional results: an increased reduction in conflict within the world for years to come. Peace through strength. Seems to be working pretty good. Then you step back and you look at the rise of the Roman Empire. You look at Lenin in Russia. You look at Hitler in Germany. As long as you followed their rule of law, you had peace, but there's something missing there. That is not the peace. That is not the way things are going. That is not what Reagan envisioned. Peace through strength is an interesting concept internationally, but it doesn't relate domestically. Domestically, there is an element that's missing in that it must be focused on liberty. Instead of having peace through strength, we need to be focused on strength to create liberty. So if we step back and we look at the United States today, say, what's going on in this country? We've got a government that is very powerful domestically. They are passing laws. They are ignoring the rule of law. They're creating new rule of law. So they look at the laws and they say, okay, we like this one, we'll enforce it. If we don't like this one, we ignore it. If we need a law here that doesn't have one, we pass it. Executive order, regulations, The Congress does not get involved in promulgating law. They are feckless to do anything about the overriding administration and the creation of that. But what is happening is that we are not focusing on using the strength to create liberty. We're using the government's strength to take away the liberties and freedoms of our country. Internationally, what's going on internationally? Well, we've got President Rouhani in Iran, his predecessor, Ahmadinejad. Interestingly enough, they were both supported and continue to be supported by Russia, Putin in Russia, as was Muammar Gaddafi in the 1980s. Then it was USSR. Seems to be something going on here. It looks like history's repeating itself. We are standing by internationally as a weak country, not exercising the kind of leadership and strength that was created and demonstrated by President Reagan. What we are doing is we're establishing ourselves as a very weak country that is standing by watching Iran build up nuclear capabilities, promulgating and promoting terrorism, and we're doing nothing about it. So strength, peace through strength will work internationally, and we're ignoring it as a country. But we're also ignoring the other component, which is using strength to create liberty for our country. Our founding fathers, the founding documents, didn't talk about peace. They talked about liberty. They talked about giving up their lives for liberty, not for peace. And as a country, we're going to have to revisit that. But my conclusion is peace through strength does in fact work internationally, but only where you're focused on using that strength to create liberty domestically. Mr. Toastmaster, thank you.
Thank you, Russ.